Self-Management Week. ALISS in action. Cillian Dwyer, Digital Links Worker, The Alliance. Follow us on X at Self-Management Scott and Alliance Scott.
Hello, I'm Cillian Dwyer. I'm the Digital Links Worker. I was just going to give a fairly brief summary of the project before we get to the Q&A. It's a relatively new project for the Alliance, funded by the Digital Health and Care Division of the Scottish Government. It's only going to be running for a year, but the idea of it is that I am accepting referrals from community links workers in Glasgow. Unfortunately, only limited catchment areas due to the funding constraints. Those links workers have been referring people with mild to moderate mental health issues over to me who are also suffering a degree of digital exclusion, whether it be through lack of digital literacy or previous experience, or potentially poverty kind of precluding them from having digital access. And the idea is that I'll be able to provide those individuals with either a phone or a tablet and a SIM card with data, unlimited calls and data for a year, and to allow them to access the digital health and wellbeing resources that we're aware of here at the Alliance. We're always on the lookout for new recommendations as well, so if anyone can think of any good self-management digital resources, we'd love to hear about it. So I'm able to provide the individual devices and the data and then work with them one-to-one to identify their specific needs and what would suit them. As well, just in the course of that, I'm able just to help with general digital goals that they might have, like setting up email addresses or helping with online shopping, just to make sure that they can utilize the digital access to the fullest, and to try and counteract some of that digital exclusion that they've maybe been facing. But yeah, primarily I'll be looking at digital resources that I can show them how to access. The devices are theirs to keep. Fortunately, though, due to the funding, the data is only for 1 year. So hopefully it's providing some support to people and hopefully it has been useful for them so far. So that's the work I'm doing with individuals. If I get the next slide, thank you very much. I've also been working in the community a bit as well as part of my remit. Part of it is just identifying digital mental health support services that are out there and encouraging them to add themselves to ALISS and claim their page, or do it myself as well sometimes. And then the idea is that hopefully we'll, in the course of working with these organizations, myself and my colleague Kiwi, who's doing comms here today, who's the Discover Digital Development Officer, we are trying to link those services with each other and encouraging them to engage with the Discover Digital program that the Alliance offers, which I encourage you to take a look on our website. If we maybe get a link to that in the chat, perhaps. But yeah, well timed. So the idea is that different services that are providing digital services might be able to link in with each other or with us. We can maybe provide training on certain things. But yeah, that given that I'm working with the links workers who are obviously based in GP surgeries, we're also offering those surgeries access to the Discover Digital program in the form of potentially training sessions for patients if they're trying to introduce maybe online appointment booking or prescription ordering. We can perhaps run workshop sessions with patients there. So some GP surgeries have already kind of indicated interest in that. This is a fairly swift run through of the project. If you have any further questions about it, please do get in touch. I think my contact details are on the next slide, Emma.
Great, thank you for that, Cillian. I'm just gonna ask you a couple of questions, and then we'll open it up to everyone else. So I just wanted to kind of ask how you think ALISS helps address digital exclusion. So many of the people we work with may be digitally excluded. So how do you think ALISS helps to reach these individuals?
Yeah, so Alice has been very useful to show people, like when I'm kind of providing someone with the device and suggesting like what resources they could access. Alice is the gateway to a lot of those really, to allow the person to kind of tailor themselves, like their own specific needs. So the accessibility of Alice and how intuitive it is, I think that's a big strength. I'll often kind of have a session with somebody where I'll kind of show them how they can filter their searches, just find specifically what they're looking for. Yeah. Um, so we kind of work through it together, and then if there's particular accessibility requirements that they have, I can show them how to use the reset toolbar, to maybe perhaps use a screen reader or to translate it into a different language. Because in Glasgow, there's a lot of people from refugee, asylum backgrounds or refugee seeker. So the ability to be able to use it in a different language has been very useful.
Nice. And you kind of already touched on that, but I was wondering if you'd be able to share an example of a real life kind of case study where you've used ALISS in your job role.
Yeah. So it's often one of the first websites I'll show people how to access, and kind of let them know how many things are out there in their local area. I was working with somebody who was a refugee themselves, due to their personal situation. They'd always had a few family members along in the appointments as well, and they didn't want to kind of discuss mental health issues that had been kind of flagged in front of their family, which is entirely reasonable. So I was able to just show them Alice and kind of show them how to filter and look for specific resources, and then they went off themselves and in their own time kind of was able to search for that on the new device, and kind of came back and said that they were accessing some of those services which they found very useful. And they were also saying how useful it was to be able to use a translator function to be able to change that to their own language.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that.